According to the latest available data from the National Crime Records Bureau, a student commits suicide every hour in India. What is going on here? Suicidal thoughts are becoming increasingly ordinary and pedestrian among young people. Kids today talk with one another rather freely about their thoughts of hopelessness and suicidal ideation. At times, there may be a vision of plans. They might even think of how people might react once they are gone. Dr. Harish Shetty, a psychiatrist at Dr. Hiranandani Hospital, believes that an inability to cope with small frustrations, failure and loss, often coupled with social alienation, can prove critical for some students. And schools and colleges are inept at dealing with nervous breakdowns among students. They are not equipped. They do not yet foster a culture of understanding and trust, let alone empathy and compassion. As parents, therefore, we can no longer avoid the discussion of suicide and suicidal ideation with our children. Unfortunately, I understand most parents will have fears that children will be suggestible somehow. If we introduce the idea of suicide to them, we might be planting the seed of an idea, of course. But historically, there may have been a time when this was the case and parents could protect their children from that degree of helplessness. But sadly, that time is quite long gone. Knowing she has someone to talk with, someone who is open, non-judgmental and not too afraid, is precisely what the teen suffering suicidal thoughts most needs. A safety plan can be enormously comforting too. No suicidal person truly wants to die. Most have been known to describe a suicidal fog in which all feels lost and hopeless. But providing them with an option, a call me without reservation, it tends to allow them for just enough hope to provide a beacon through the fog, one that can be truly life-saving. There is a new quasi-suicidal thinking afoot. The idea that I'm not going to do anything to hurt myself, but I don't care if I wake up tomorrow either. We need to be alert and ask, does this have to do with the way you feel about yourself, the world, the future? Consider too, is your child quieter than she used to be? Is she spending more time alone? Is she down and sullen? Has her behavior shifted dramatically? Does she suddenly seem buoyant and relieved after a period of depression? That suicide fog can sweep over a child in the wake of a bad test score or fear of a disciplinary issue or the aftermath of a sudden breakup. So ask if she's okay and be receptive to the answer, especially if it is a no. So what will your course of action be if your young does happen to be suicidal? Should your child express that she's overtly suicidal in the moment that you ask, the immediate plan would be to call a suicide prevention helpline or get to one such center should there be trouble connecting. This will ensure her safety right away, and there'll be professionals for guidance through the next steps. If your child expresses some degree of suicidal ideation, but she does not have a plan and clearly is no immediate threat to herself, the thing to do would be to seek a psychologist or licensed clinical social worker. Someone with experience working with young people who have experienced this level of despair. It's a mighty parent that has the presence of mind to use all of the tools at her disposal to help her child regain a sense of safety and well-being. We do whatever it takes.